my name is Seti and welcome back to another tips and tricks with apps, events and Acer. In today's video we're going to be looking at remote learning and more specifically how you can use Google Meet to facilitate this. So let's just get started. Now Google Meet, well, it's part of G Suite, and recently we have been given an upgrade by Google in response to all these school closures around the world that now allows us to use some of the enterprise features in the free G Suite edition. Now we'll look at that later, but let's start off with the basic functionality. Now Google Meet is basically a brand new version of Hangouts. Now it's not only better when it comes to the video and audio quality, it also has a number of controls and even some quality tools that you as an admin can use, as well as some tools that will facilitate online learning. Now the first thing you'll want to do is you'll want to make sure that you have access to Google Meet. So let's go ahead and type in meet.google.com. Now once you're on that main page, you will see that you can now join or start a meeting. Now all the meetings have a link generated whenever this meeting is created. There is a great integration with the Google Calendar as well, and that means that whenever you create an event in the Google Calendar, you can also automatically generate a meeting room link. That link can then be shared with anyone and they can join. You can also invite people by using their email addresses. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to start a meeting. So I'm going to click on that big button. And now all I have to do is give my room a name. Now I'm going to call it the Demo Apps Events Room. Now here on this first page, you're going to get a preview of your audio and video quality. This also allows you to select different microphones or different cameras. Now as you can see here on the recording, I am currently recording into a video camera. However, the webcam of my laptop is also recording my voice as well as video footage. At the right hand side, you'll see I have two buttons. I can either join or present. Now when you're presenting, you're going to be screen sharing. You're going to be presenting a presentation, your screen, or anything that you have prepared, but there will be no camera turned on. The Join Now is a standard chat room with video enabled. So that means that you can jump into the room and then people can join you into that room and they can start a conversation. This is what I've been using in the classroom. I've been using the Join Now and not the Present, because even though you've joined a room, you are still able to present your screen later. So I'll show you how that is done. Now, here you can see I can turn my microphone off or on. I'm going to turn the internal microphone off because you can hear me via the camera. Now in addition to that, I'm also going to leave this camera on because I want you to experience what this looks like in real time. You can see there are three dots down the bottom, and those three dots are going to give you some of these additional features. Now one I really love using, especially when you're dealing with EAL children or children that struggle and are not using their native language, you can turn on captions. Now they're not perfect, but just as you would do in a Google Slides, you can turn on captions and automatically captions of everything that's said appear on screen. Diving into these settings, you will see that we can change the microphone used and we can even change the speakers. In addition to that, we have the video options, and these allow us to tweak the quality of the camera. At the moment, everything is set to maximum on my PC, but let's say that you are on a slightly slower connection. Well, then you can change that and you can bring the pixels down. I'm going to click on Done and I'm going to join this room. I'm now in the room, and before I do anything else, you'll see that there is information there. People can join by either clicking on that link that I share with them. They can join via a telephone and just dial in and then join the meeting that way, or I can add them manually. You can see here I have a add people, and when I click on that, I can invite people to this meeting. So I'm going to show you what that looks like, and there we go. We now have a number of email addresses here, and these are recently used email addresses, and they are pulled from your contacts and your Gmail. Now I'm not going to invite anyone at this moment, but what I am going to do is I'm going to show you what this meeting looks like once it's in action. Now at the bottom you'll see there are two buttons. I have turn on captions or off, and present now. Now when I click on present now, I am asked what I want to present. Now this is the standard screen share where you can share your entire screen or just a window. This is the same as using that present button at the beginning. In addition to that, we have 3 additional buttons, and these buttons allow us to do some extra things. Now we can change the layout, and the layout depends on how many people are in your meeting, but one of those features that you'll see there that was previously not available to the free edition of G Suite, that's record meeting. Now you can record your meeting and then that file is automatically stored on your Google Drive. Now this is a G Suite for Enterprise edition feature that has now been brought into the free edition by Google as a response to the school closures. So I would highly recommend that you play around with it. If you do not see it there, then you'll have to contact your admin because it does have to be switched on. Now later in this video I will show you how the admins can switch this on. In addition to that, we have full screen, again those captions and some additional settings. Now when it comes to the meeting, this is the video chat. In the top right corner we have 2 buttons. We have the people, and this is to get an overview of all the people in the chat. And what is great about this is that once they've joined your chat, you can mute these people and you can also turn off their camera. However, once you've muted them, they can unmute themselves. This is great for when they've forgotten to mute themselves and they're talking or breathing into a microphone. I've had to use this with my students and then just simply remind them, please turn off your microphones when you're not talking. You can also add people here. The chat will give you a full text-based chat, and that means that you can present something and you can just ask your students to jump into the chat and leave their questions there rather than interrupting you as you speak. Because this is live, and because it's live, the more people you add into the mix, well, the more chances there are that you'll get interrupted. And those are some of the main features in Google Meet. Now let's say that you finished, well you can simply hang up that meeting and then you're back to the home screen. One downside though, when you see that your students are in that room and you have not joined the room yourself, well they can start talking. Once you've left the room, that room is still open and they can continue their discussion. So that's something to be aware of. Now let's jump into the admin side of things and let's just show you a couple of things that you as an admin can do to help your teachers with remote learning. Now the 2 main features are: 1, turn on that record functionality, and that is something that has now come to G Suite. And then secondly, it is switching off the ability for your students to start their own meetings. Because what we've seen before is that some schools give open access to everyone, others only allow their teachers to start meetings and not their students for safety reasons. Now I'm going to show you how you can turn this on or off in the admin console. So let's jump into the admin console and just make sure that you're all logged in and signed in as an admin. And then the first thing you'll want to do is you can use the search at the top and just simply type in Meet. This will give you the options for Meet. Now I'm going to show you what that looks like. When I type Meet, you will see the search gives me a number of options. We are looking for the Meet settings. Now this can also be found under G Suite and then Apps. Okay, we are now in our settings, and this is a little bit confusing because you'll see it still says Hangouts at the top, but Meet is here within this same menu. At the bottom you'll see Meet settings, and that is where we want to go first. So let's go ahead and click on Meet settings. I am currently using these settings for my entire domain, but if you would like to change the settings for a very specific OU, well then you need to first select that OU on the left-hand side. This is where you would now select your student group and then you change the settings for your students. The first you'll spot on the right-hand side is that we now have the ability to record our meetings. Now you can switch this on or off. Let's say that you'd like to change it, hover over it, and then just click on that edit button. You can untick this or tick this, and usually this rolls out pretty quickly. Now it does say there, please allow for up to 24 hours, but usually it rolls out much quicker. And then as we scroll down, you'll see that there is also that video calling. This is where we can allow our users to place video calls, or we can turn this off. Now when we turn this off for our users, they will not be able to place their own video calls. They can, however, still join your meetings. And that's it. That's all you have to do as an admin to enable your users to record their meetings and to disable students from making their own video calls. I hope you found this helpful. If you did, scroll down into that comment section below. Let us know, are you preparing for a school closure? Is your school already closed? And would you like some support? Now, on that note, make sure that you go to the Apps Events website as well, because we are now offering online training. We know that many teachers are at home, many students are at home, and at Apps Events we are organizing online training. This is the perfect time for you to get certified, so get in touch with us and we will be there to get you trained. I hope you found this helpful. This was another Tips and Tricks with Apps Events and Acer, and I will see you in the next one. Thank you for watching.